Good morning, grade 5. Welcome back to the English class. How are you all doing today? Let's learn a story today. It's about Thenali Rama. The story is called Thenali Rama and Babur. So you might have read Thenali stories before. Who was he? He was a court poet, a witty courtier in the palace of King Krishnadevaraya. King Krishnadevaraya was the ruler of the Vijayanagara Empire. So let's read a funny story about him today. So all of you please turn to page number 49 in your English workbook. So let's read the story Thenali Rama and Babur. Long ago, in the ancient kingdom of Vijayanagara, ruled a king called Krishnadevaraya. Thenali Rama, a man known for his wit and wisdom, graced his court. So long ago, there was this kingdom called Vijayanagara, and King Krishnadevaraya was the ruler of this kingdom. And at that time, Thenali Rama was a courtier in his palace. And Thenali was known for his wit and humor. So what do you mean by wit? So wit is the ability to say or write things which are clever and usually funny. And Thenali was known for his wit and humor. So stories about Thenali Rama's intelligence were known far and wide. Babur, the famous Mughal ruler who ruled over Delhi, too had heard of him. So there was this Mughal empire and one of the rulers was Babur. He was a Mughal ruler in Delhi and Babur had also heard about Thenali Rama's intelligence. So let's see what happened. Babur decided to judge for himself whether all the praise for Thenali Rama was really justified. So hearing all the stories about Thenali Rama's intelligence, the ruler Babur wanted to try Thenali's intelligence himself. So let's see what he did. So he invited Thenali Rama to be his guest in Delhi. Thenali Rama left for Delhi as King Krishnadevaraya's ambassador. So Thenali Rama was invited to the palace of ruler Babur. So Thenali Rama left for Delhi to reach Babur's palace on behalf of King Krishnadevaraya. So on reaching Delhi, Thenali Rama was received with great hospitality. He was tired after the long journey and decided to take some rest before meeting Babur in his court. So Thenali received a warm welcome at Babur's palace. So when he reached Delhi, he was too tired. So before meeting the king, he decided he will take rest for some time and then meet Babur. Meanwhile, Babur had instructed his courtiers not to laugh at Thenali Rama's jokes. So what happened? So Thenali was known for his humor. Everyone would laugh at his jokes. So when Thenali reached Delhi in Babur's palace, Babur had commanded his courtiers beforehand not to laugh at Thenali's jokes. So the next day, Thenali Rama arrived in the court. He greeted Babur and began narrating one of his jokes. So after reaching Delhi, Thenali took a day for resting and then the next day, he meets ruler Babur. They were talking for some time and during the conversation, Thenali started to crack jokes. The courtiers cut him off by yawning. So Babur had instructed his courtiers not to laugh at Thenali's jokes. So they wanted to show Thenali that they are not interested in his jokes. So when Thenali was saying jokes to King Babur, they started yawning at him, indicating that they are getting bored. This continued for a few days. On the 10th day of his stay, Thenali Rama decided not to go to the court. So the same story happened every day. Thenali would go to the court, meet the king and his courtiers, he would crack jokes and the courtiers would yawn at him. This happened for 10 days. So on the 10th day of his stay in the palace, Thenali decides that today he is not going to the court. Instead, let's see what he did. Instead, he thought to himself, let me follow Babur and see where he goes every day. So that day, instead of going to the court, Thenali decided to follow King Babur and see where he goes every day. So Thenali Rama disguised himself as a poor man and followed Babur and his minister. So what do you mean by disguise? Disguise himself means he dressed up as someone else. So Thenali Rama dressed up as a poor man and then he followed Babur and his minister. He saw that Babur and his minister would walk by the Yamuna every morning where Babur would distribute coins to the needy. So what would Babur do every day? Every day, Babur would go to the banks of river Yamuna along with his minister for what? To give coins to the needy people, to the poor people. So on the 10th day of his stay in the palace, Thenali disguised himself as a poor man and followed Babur, and he saw that Babur was giving coins to the needy. Thenali Rama, who was watching this from a distance, thought of a plan. So seeing this, he thought of a plan. The next day, he disguised himself as an old man and went to the river bank. So the next day, the 11th day, what did Thenali do? On the 11th day, he dressed up, he disguised himself as an old man and went to the river bank. Which river? River Yamuna. He carried a spade and a mango sapling. So what did he carry with him? He carried a spade and a mango sapling with him. As he saw Babur approaching, he began to plant the sapling. So Thenali disguised himself as an old man and he waited there on the river bank for Babur to come. So he waited there. So when Thenali saw Babur from a distance, he started to plant this mango sapling. Babur saw him and said, "You're old and won't be alive when this tree will bear fruit. Why are you planting it then, old man?" So Babur asked this old man. And who is this old man for real? This old man is Thenali Rama. And Babur asked him, why is he planting this sapling? Because when this sapling grows out into a big mango tree, he will not be alive to eat the fruit. So why is he planting this in the first place? That's what Babur asked this old man. Thenali Rama replied, "Your Majesty, I have tasted the fruits of the trees planted by my forefathers. In the same way, my grandchildren will someday enjoy the fruit of this tree." So what did the old man reply to Babur? The old man replied that, "Your Majesty," that's how you address a king, "Your Majesty, I have tasted the fruit of the trees which I planted by my forefathers." So this old man said he has eaten the fruits from the trees which were planted by his great-grandfathers. So in the same way, if he plants this sapling here, it will grow out and someday his grandchildren will be able to eat the fruits from this tree. Babur was pleased with this response and gave him a bag of gold coins. So the old man's reply pleased the king. So Babur rewarded him with a bag of gold coins. Thenali Rama now said, "Thank you, Your Majesty. You have given me the fruit of planting this sapling before it has grown." So what did he say? The old man said, even before the plant grew out into a big tree and bare fruit, he got a reward. The king has given him a fruit for his labor. Babur, pleased with this answer, decided to reward him again. So upon hearing this, upon hearing the old man's reply, the king got pleased again. So he decides to reward him again. Thenali Rama came up with another intelligent response. "A tree gives fruit once a year, but I am getting the fruit of my labor twice, Your Majesty." Babur appreciated the clever response and gave him a third bag of gold coins. So what happened? Babur got pleased with the old man the second time and he rewarded him with a second bag of gold coins. So immediately Thenali came up with another intelligent response. He told to King Babur that if the tree grew out into a big mango tree and it will bear fruit only once in a year, but now that he has planted this sapling, he has got a reward twice. The tree would reward him for his labor only once a year, but the king has rewarded him twice. So what happened? King Babur got pleased with this old man a third time. He got pleased with him again. So Babur rewarded him with a third bag of gold coins. At this point, Thenali Rama took off his fake beard and turban and revealed himself. So who was this old man in real? The old man was actually Thenali Rama. So when he got the third bag of gold coins, so he took off his beard and turban and revealed himself that he is Thenali Rama. Babur was finally impressed with Thenali Rama's intelligence. So King Babur got really impressed with Thenali Rama's intelligence. He said, "I admire you for your wit. Please come to my court and entertain us with your clever tales." So King Babur got really impressed with Thenali Rama and he invited Thenali Rama to come back to his palace and entertain the king and his courtiers with his clever tales. Thenali Rama went back to Babur's court and entertained him for many days. His tales of wit and humor were greatly appreciated in Babur's court. So Thenali Rama went back to King Babur's palace and he stayed there for a few more days while entertaining everyone with his clever tales. When he returned to Vijayanagara, King Krishnadevaraya proclaimed, "You have done us proud, Thenali Rama, and we are glad that you are back." So when Thenali Rama returned to Vijayanagara, to the palace of King Krishnadevaraya, the king proclaimed. Proclaimed means to announce officially or to announce publicly. The king proclaimed that you have done us proud. Thenali has made him proud. And also that they are very glad that Thenali is back at the palace. So children, this was the story about Thenali Rama and Babur. I hope you really enjoyed the story. I suggest you read the story once again and you can read more Thenali Rama stories later. So that's all for today. We'll see you in the next class. Till then, bye.